Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So this is actually my second edit of the intro. Yeah, a little disappointed, not gonna lie. The reason why this is the second intro is I use this little DJI dongle or dangle or whatever it's called. It follows you around, good for taking videos and whatnot. And I started working on the GTR. So I put my camera on one side and started recording. Figured, you guys don't need to see step by step for seeing me install everything on the car. So I started going at it. Went relatively quick, easy, painless. So I started putting everything back together. In the end, I lowered the car, did a few signals like, hey, it's going down, etc. And yeah, so I continued in the engine bay, tidy up some stuff there. So the whole under the car is all done, engine bay is done, only missing to do the interior, like the connecting the ECU back in, and installing the front bumper. Not gonna install the front bumper right away, simply because I want to do the wrap, as you already know. So I went back to the little DJI unit, and I was all happy because I did a time lapse, right? So I was like, perfect. It's gonna be a quick time lapse. Don't need to show every single step. Same way that we removed everything, we're just reinstalling it, right? Well, I got there and it was a green screen. So I was like, what? So apparently, because the DJI uses an app, that app only records for X amount of minutes, which I don't know what the X amount of minute is, and then it just corrupts the file. So yeah, here we are. It's on 4 wheels. Yeah. So we'll just go around, show you what I done, and as you can see right here, dirty hands, forgot to put gloves. We got some different colors that I'm toying around, so I'll show you those in a few minutes. So here we are. So as you can see, everything under the engine bay is all tidied up. I am missing oil. I didn't pick it up today, so I did put power steering fluid in, the coolant. All that stuff is all ready, but I did not pick up the engine oil. Well, I went to our local parts store, but they do not sell Mobile One, which is what I run in this car. So I'll have to pick it up tomorrow to do the initial first start. Not necessarily first start on the motor, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, so all of that is installed. Interior still in pieces. Just gotta connect the ECU, put the glove box back on. But here are the color chips. I actually had a few more, which they are here. I was going with white, so I ordered a bunch of different colors. Obviously, I'd like your opinion on it, but these colors are a little too, I don't know. Some of them are strictly just white. Let's see if I can put the flash on here. No, for some reason the flash doesn't want to come on. So these two, which has a lot of sparkle on this one here, well, this one's just normal white. This one, way too bling bling for me. And yeah, and I got stuck with these 3 different colors here. So the first one is by 3M, which is this one. You can see there is gold sparkle in it, depending on how you look at it. You don't see the gold sparkle, and then you see here. Problem with that one is in the light, it is pretty bling blingy for me. So not saying 100% no on that one, but not sure. Then we got the Avery Dennison, the 109S, which this one is actually a real deep pearl white. This color is really nice in person. I really like this one, really do. Then we got the Vivid. So the Vivid has some white ghost pearl. So as you can see, it switches to blue, which is kind of nice. The only problem I see with this one is the car being a little baby blue like this in some angles. Not 100% sure. So what's your opinion on this one? So should I go with the Bling Bling 3M? As you can see the gold everywhere. This is a subtle, nice, deep white pearl color. This one's actually really nice as well. It's a nice finish. Some of the other ones were orange peel finish, while this one is really good quality. This one is actually pretty good quality as well, but it's got the blue pearl, ghost pearl in it. So what's your take on that one? Let me know in the comments. Here we go. I actually figured out how to put the flash on, so it simulates a little bit of how it would look in the light. So first off, the 3M. A lot of gold. You got the Avery Dennison. As you can see, it's a nice pearl white. I like that one. And then we got the Vivid, which is actually pretty cool seeing the blue. Of course, these are not healed up. There's no heat that was put on, so you can still see scratches and whatnot. Definitely not the finish that's gonna be at the end of it all, but gives you a good view of all three colors. And also in the other video, we, for the GTR, actually had a whole lot of problems. Editing software, laptop problems. See, it's just our first go at this. We're not perfect. Obviously right now I'm just holding the camera in my hand. I'm actually not using the dongle because I'm pissed off at it, but it might just be a little wobbly. So I will connect that back on and whatnot. Just be more careful. I want to say a big shout out to Entice Motorsports, which I mentioned them in the other video. They are one of our sponsors, so they are helping us out with all the builds that we will have on this channel. Really check them out. They got awesome prices, good service. They're based out of Nova Scotia. That way, if you're anywhere across Canada, there's no brokerage fees, no fees at the door, no hidden stuff. Just good pricing, good people, and they'll help you along the way. So check them out. I will leave the website in the description again. Same thing as I did last video. It's just, yeah, we had some problems last video. Hopefully, well, I guess we got some problems this one too with the video not recording, but hopefully we got enough content to not bore you too much. But tomorrow I'll go get some oil, and then we'll do the initial first startup, make sure everything's good, and then we'll proceed with the next steps. Would you look at that? She purrs. Yahoo! So as you can see, there's no front bumper. The front bumper is actually stored right up top here. Reason for that is I'm waiting for the stuff to do the wrap. So there's no point of installing it if I need to remove it afterwards anyways. As you can see, everything under the engine bay, all tied up. Of course, the battery cover is not connected. Well, battery cover is actually not clipped in, but that's because the battery's not hooked on. As far as the interior goes, everything is back together and ready to go. So, what are we doing today? It's time to get the suspension on. So as you know, I've mentioned this before. Hopefully you looked at other videos. If not, start at the beginning of the project so you can actually learn a little more. But I will actually be running air ride. So it's got an airlift suspension kit on it. I removed the stock struts already and installed the bag struts on it. I'll show you how they're mounted. It's pretty simple. I did not take a video of that. This was before we even thought about doing the YouTube channel. I threw them on, and I'll show you the little piece of equipment that I've got, so it actually sits the way it does right now. Basically, it's just a Schrader valve with the push to connect line directly to on all 4 struts. So I gotta use a manual tire inflator to inflate the bags. But anyway, so now the time has come to put the air tank in, the management, and run all the lines. So we can actually see it work over the press of a button. Essentially, that's what you want. You don't want to have a manual setup like that. Although it does look pretty good. Perfect height for this. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing today. If you follow us on Instagram, you notice that I posted a little post. There's one showing the car revving up. So you knew that the engine was in, and that was a few days after the fact. So we are a little behind with our videos. We'll work on that. Now for the fun part. As you'll see, all the stuff is in the trunk. Even the Gucci Gang tank. Please note, I'm not the one that designed that tank. I bought it used, and I guess he was part of the Gucci Gang team. That's definitely changing colors. So what I'll do is I'll slap the camera on the shelf and then take the stuff out and see what we have to play with. So, as you can see, all stripped up. I already had stripped it up initially. So yeah, you didn't see that part, but basically it's just a bunch of clips. So right now, what we need to concentrate on is to remove this back bumper. So what I'm gonna do, geez, I'm having a little bit of flow problems with this camera. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use these bulkhead fittings, push to connect bulkhead fittings, because I want a clean install. I don't want to just poke holes in the body of the car, etc. So I'll be using these. So now to pull the rear bumper. So I'm still not sure if you guys want more of a do-it-yourself type of video, or essentially just see us tearing stuff apart, and then you can Google to see how to remove a rear bumper. You'll see me do a little bit of stuff, but yeah, so let me know in the comments. Let me know if you like to see tutorials on how to do stuff, or simply you just like to see the progress. Let us know if you like time lapse, more time lapse, less time lapse. So we're still working on this. This is definitely not what we do at all. This is out of our comfort zone by a whole lot. So we don't know exactly what you, the viewer, likes. So let us know in the comments. All right, so here's the plan. I'm not too artistic, so here it goes. So the front wheel. There's actually 4 wheels. No way! So yeah, in the trunk, I will have the tank. I'll also have the management box and decompressor. Why I took the rear bumper off. So I want to drill and put the push to connect fittings here and here. So compressor to here, this to here, the drain to here, and the line to basically the blow off line or whatever will actually go on the outside here, or here to be honest, exactly, whatever. So basically when I'm airing out, the air is going to go outside on this side. And the push to connect fittings, so I'll have two lines going here, so for the front and the back, and then from here I'll go to the wheel, from here I'll go to the wheel, from here I'll go to the wheel here I'll go to the wheel here. So that's the reason why I'm actually putting those adapters, so I can actually remove the line, nice clean bulkhead, so you won't be able to, well, actually this looks pretty bad now to looking through the camera here, but hopefully you get my drift. But yeah, so it's just a cleaner setup, and if ever I remove the air setup, it's easy to cap off. So yeah, here we go. So here is where I want the holes to be. Can't really see it well here, but right where the end of the ratchet is, that's where the holes will be. And that's what it looks like. Obviously, it's I'm looking at it as at an angle, so you can't see it properly, but that is what it looks like. On the inside, get this working. It looks like this. So nice, easy, simple. I'll put a little bead of sealer around that, and it should be golden. All right, so as you can see, we're outside right now. I had to stop the video and throw the car back together, so I just put the lines back directly to the air struts and whatnot. Just made it begin with the pump, the little Schrader valves, simply because the other car that we're gonna be working on just showed up. So here it goes. Put the bumper back on the GTR, just simply so I can move it around, and that's actually gonna be the right height. It's not too high, not too low. And this is the other car. So as you can see, I already put it on the hoist, simply because we've got some stuff to do underneath. So let me show you a little bit about the car and what are the plans for it. So it's a 240SX. It's got the BN blister wide body kit on it. Installed the kit at the end of last year on this car. Actually, no, it was beginning of last year. So it's a full wide body. As you can see, there's some Hooney getting sprayed on there, so we gotta get rid of that. And that's the car. So the front bumper is actually in the attic here. I removed it when it went in for storage. So what's the plan with this one? Well, fortunately, it already has an LS swap in it. So that's the fortunate part. So fortunately, it does actually have an LS swap in it. So it doesn't have no KA or SR20. It did, in fact, have an SR20 at some point, but it was a pile of, yeah, Nissan engines. Nisjunk. So it's got a 6-liter T56 transmission, bunch of parts. Don't remember them all right now. It was assembled. Well, it's been an ongoing build. There's been a little at a time done to it, and yeah, so now it's at that point. So what are we gonna do with this car? Well, first off, I'll show you what it looks like now, and explain to you along the way as to what are the plans for each portion of the car. So, bodywork side of things. Car's pretty straight. The color, well, it wasn't necessarily the color that we wanted to put on it at first. It was actually just ended up to be some leftover paint that I had here. It was just thrown together. So it's a single coat paint, nothing fancy at all. Does look decent, but that's gotta change. So the whole exterior needs to be sanded, painted. So we'll show you the process of that. and that will complete it for the outside of the vehicle. Nothing much changes. It's already got the wide body kit on it. No need for other mods. It's got the wings, it's got the aftermarket taillights and whatnot. So that's for the outside. Engine bay. As for the engine, so it's a 6-liter LQ4 truck engine with a T56 transmission. Can't remember the make of the headers and the mounts. Actually, they are ISR. ISR headers, ISR mounts. So it's a pretty decent setup. It's got the F-body, accessory drive. Everything's pretty tight. But one thing that you might notice that it's missing is a wiring harness. So we're actually running a harness in there that we wanted to change up to match up all the other LS stuff. So we're actually putting a full cut. We're actually putting the Holley Terminator X in it. So we've used this in the Subaru that we'll show you some updates soon. And yeah, so we decided to keep every car running the same engine. Makes it easier, simpler, and plus it's all in all a awesome setup. Engine bay. As for the engine, so it's a 6-liter LQ4 truck engine with a T56 transmission. Can't remember the make of the headers and the mounts. Actually, they are ISR. ISR headers, ISR mounts. So it's a pretty decent setup. It's got the F-body, accessory drive. Everything's pretty tight. But one thing that you might notice that it's missing is a wiring harness. So we're actually running a harness in there that we wanted to change up to match up all the other LS stuff. So we're actually putting a full cut. We're actually putting the Holley Terminator X in it. So we've used this in the Subaru that we'll show you some updates soon. And yeah, so we decided to keep every car running the same engine. Makes it easier, simpler, and plus it's all in all a awesome setup. And this is the Holley Terminator X. So this is what we'll be using in this car. It's a full standalone setup, full harness, display gauge, built-in wideband, everything you need. It's got boost controls, good for nitrous, all the bells and whistles. Definitely check this system out. And also check Entice Motorsports. They sponsored this episode. They sponsored this ECU for this car. I'd like to give a big shout out to Entice Motorsports. You guys have been helping us with some parts for a few of our builds and more to come. I'd like you to check them out. They're actually based in Canada. So that makes a big difference. The exchange rate, as you know, exchange rate kills us Canadians. Something that's $1,000 in the US. It's a lot more by the time it comes here for the exchange rate, the duties, the taxes, and all that stuff. If the item's not made in the US, it's made in China, but it comes from the US, then there's more fees. Yeah, it gets expensive. So, check Entice Motorsports. They're based out of Nova Scotia. They've got a location in Bridgewater and a location in Lower Sackville. They can ship worldwide, Canada-wide, and they hands down have one of the best prices around. Like, you won't be able to beat their prices. They've got everything from cars, trucks, accessories, Jeep, anything, you name it. Like, they can get you everything you want. So please make sure to check them out. The link is in the description. If you need any information, give them a call. They're so quick. They'll get you the parts. Like this took us 2 days to get it. It was pretty darn quick. If I would have ordered this in the States, by the time it would have got here, yeah. So we've discussed the paint, the harness. We also need to do some work on the interior harness. So this car was sitting for a long time. Rats got into it. It's a mess. It's a real mess. So we actually picked up a full body harness for it, so we'll throw that in, make it easier. There's some wires that were spliced when the guys swapped in the S13. There's a lot of random crap with this car, so we got to get that fixed. Another thing is the gas tank leaks a little bit. We're not sure exactly where it's leaking, so we got to pull it out, see what the problem is, but we actually picked up another gas tank, so we're gonna throw another tank in. It's got the Walbro 255 already in there, so that's gonna be good. So paint, harness in the engine bay, harness on the inside, gas tank, and this thing will be doing some burnouts once more. So I'm gonna end this episode here. On the next episodes, we'll touch on the GTR again. We gotta get the air management all finished up. We gotta get this thing wrapped and ready for car season. So it's coming up quick. We've been having some nice days. Like today was +8, which if you're in the United States, you're probably thinking, +8, that's cold. Nope, that's pretty much time to get your shorts out here. And then we'll jump onto this. We got a bunch more cars to finish up for April, because typically we take our cars out in April. The snow typically melts enough that the salt is all off the roads. So yeah, lots of work to do in the next little bit. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.